Okay, we're back with our next part of this lesson, which is, I think, honestly, the most important part to make sure you know about, and that is your Classwork tab. So in our classroom here, I'm going to click up on this Classwork tab right here, and this is going to be something you want to be really familiar with using. So at the top of your Classwork tab, there's going to be some really important information and resources. I'm actually going to switch back over to one of your science classrooms to get a look at those. The very top section here is always going to be your resources and materials. If you are not sure where to find something or you have a question about something, there's a good chance that this can answer it for you right here. In my classrooms, for right now at least, we have my actual classroom slide, which you can go take a look at anytime you want. You have your links to your live class Google Meets. So if you are in one of these cohorts that meets with me from 9:30 to 11:30, at any point you can click on this and that'll take you right to class. So you don't need to go to your other website and look at that link. You can just go right on your Classwork tab and click on it there. You also have your links for science office hours. Anybody can come to these from 3:15 to 4. Just come prepared with your work that you have questions about or just ready to ask anything that you need to know. You also have some slides covering the class norms and contacting me, as well as asking questions, which is what we talked about yesterday. And finally, if using Nearpod has been a little bit tricky for you, I made a really quick 2-minute video about how to use Nearpod. You can go through and check that out. And if you still have questions afterwards, come to office hours and ask me. So this is going to be all of your really important information and resources. Things might get added onto here as we go. They probably will. So keep an eye out for those, and those will always live at the very top of your Classwork tab. If you scroll down, you're going to see other sections as well that are titled. Right now, we just have our first 10 days because that's what we're starting with, just kind of like our introduction to 6th grade. And you can at any point go and click on those assignments and see what they are. Now, I'm going to go back to my class that I was in and actually go down to the science section. So when I was in a class, these are all the assignments that were listed in my classroom. Now, any of these assignments you can click on and see a small view of that assignment. So in here, I can see a little description, I can scroll down and see the links, and I can just click on these links right from this section. If I click on something like a Nearpod, it's going to open up another tab, and I can start my Nearpod there. When you start a Nearpod, and this is really important, make sure that your name is exactly as it's listed on your class. So if it doesn't automatically put your name in like it did for me here, make sure you type it out. I don't want to see like Kevin, because there might be more than one Kevin. I don't want to see like your initials. I don't want to see like your nickname, like Kevbot or like Bubba. Make sure you're typing your full name, Kevin Summers, and then hitting join lesson. And also just ignore this other optional name. I'd rather you just not use that for now. So if I go back to my class, there's a lot of things I can see in this small view. I can also click on the actual assignment where it says view assignment, and I get a much bigger view. In this view, it's just spread out a little bit more for me. There's a couple other things I can do on here, and I can also see if I've turned it in or not and submit it right here. You can do a couple other things in here that we're going to get to in our next video as well. So if you look at your small view, one last thing that you can see is if you've actually completed that assignment. For example, this assignment I am missing in this class, while this assignment I have turned in already. That's why it's great, because I don't need to turn it in anymore. Maybe I have an assignment that I haven't done yet, but isn't overdue. In that case, it'll say assigned. So this is a really quick way to just make sure all of your work is done. The last thing you can see that might be useful is if there's a comment. So if there's a comment in that class, you're going to want to go to the full assignment because maybe I added some extra information after I posted it. So if I click on view assignment and scroll down here, I see class comments from the person that made this assignment. And that's going to be really useful for me because there's a link that I need to follow. So that is how you're going to view your work in the Classwork tab. While a lot of you have probably been getting really used to just taking your work from the stream, this is a really, really useful way because you can see all of the work that you've been assigned so far and that you've done so far without having to scroll through a stream that might also have other announcements and things in there as well. So it's just a much cleaner way to look at it. It's also going to be organized by every single chapter we do in science. and by the week that we do them. So it'll always be in order. So if you missed a day, you know exactly where to look. All right. You're going to answer a couple more questions about using this classwork tab. And when we come back after those questions, we're going to look more specifically at viewing your own work. All right. Go ahead and answer those questions, and I'll see you in a minute.